Good evening. I call to order the Thursday, January 23rd, 2025 special meeting of the City of Seaside Homeless Commission. Denise, could you please take roll?
Chair Benjamin Strickland.
Here.
Vice Chair Leslie Mugan.
She has an emergency excused absence.
Commissioner Lynda Cunningham.
Here.
And we have quorum?
You do have quorum.
Very well. So for review of agenda, if there's any items that arose after the 72-hour posting deadline, this is the point in the meeting where a vote may be taken to add an item to the agenda with a 2/3 majority vote required. Is there anything to add to the agenda?
No.
So we're moving down to public comment. So members of the public wishing to address the commission on matters within the jurisdiction of the City of Seaside, but not on this agenda, may do so during the public comment period for up to 3 minutes. Comments on specific agenda items are heard under that item. For public record, please state your name.
So Chair Strickland, online we have a Ms. Doris Beckman, and I'm going to allow her to provide her public comment.
Very well.
Doris, you got 3 minutes.
Thank you. I just want to talk about a serious problem in our community. More homeowners are at risk of losing their homes because of the high cost of maintenance keep going up. Many of us have seen how hard it is to make ends meet with rising bills for utilities, property taxes, and everyday upkeep. For some people, it's become a choice between keeping a roof over their heads and purchasing food and medicine. The situation is urgent and affects not just individuals, but our whole community. Sadly, this leads to an increase in homelessness. One way we can help is through home sharing. Home sharing lets homeowners invite other people to live with them, which can help them earn extra money to pay for the rising costs. This approach can benefit both homeowners and people looking for affordable options. By embracing home sharing, we can create a supportive network that helps prevent further homelessness. This can provide financial relief for struggling homeowners while offering safe and affordable living arrangements for renters or individuals seeking housing. Moreover, home sharing often fosters community connections, allowing people to interact and support one another. It can create a sense of belonging that we desperately need, especially during these challenging times. We must also consider that many communities that have home sharing programs are not only helping homeowners stay in their homes, but are also revitalizing neighborhoods and keeping them vibrant and inclusive. Thank you.
Moving along, presentations. 5A, we're to receive a presentation from District 4 Supervisor Wendy Askew regarding Homeless Commission attendance at the 2025 Lead Me Home Summit on Homelessness and advocacy for city consideration of adopting the Lead Me Home plan. The recommendation is the Commission will receive the presentation from District 4 Supervisor Askew highlighting the upcoming 2025 Lead Me Home Summit on Homelessness, to explore openness and availability for attending the event, as well as to gain an understanding of the 5-year Lead Me Home plan adopted in 2021 to advocate to Seaside City Council for consideration in adopting the plan.
So thank you so much for having me. I have a couple highlights I wanted to share with you. Broadly speaking, I'm starting my 2nd term on the Monterey County Board of Supervisors. District 4, I'm one of 5 elected county supervisors. District 4 includes the cities of Seaside, Marina, South Salinas, Del Rio Oaks, Sand City, and most of the former Fort Ord, including CSUMB and East Garrison. It's an honor to serve and represent our county and our communities, and I've tried really hard to make sure that we're sort of finding that balancing act between representing the needs of our 5 cities as well as asking those cities how do we work together to try to build and collectively build towards the future and identify our vision for how we're going to achieve those goals. So I did want to start by providing a little bit of information about the Leave Me Home plan update that identifies the regional vision for and plan for reducing homelessness in Monterey and San Benito counties from July 2021 through June 2026. The region this is the plan that guides our region and through the Coalition of Homeless Service Providers with a number of strategies for responding to the challenge of moving people from homelessness into housing. The idea that we have 12 individual cities in Monterey County plus the county, plus a number of service providers. And rather than having each jurisdiction trying to develop their own plan and execute their own strategies, the idea was that if we can come together, create a coordinated, unified vision for how do we do this work, what are the strategies that we're going to use, what are the goals that we're going to look to achieve, how do we measure our results, and how do we collectively put our resources towards those same goals with the same, how are we all rowing in the same direction, we're more likely to make progress towards the same unified outcomes. So this plan, it's not a large plan, it's a pretty straightforward set of strategies. But it's clean and concise. One of the main, and so what we've done is we've asked each of our jurisdictions, all 12 cities and the county, to adopt this plan. So the County of Monterey adopted this plan. Many of our cities have adopted this plan. The city of Seaside hasn't yet formally adopted this plan and agreed to say we are also agreeing that these are the strategies that we intend to use as a city. And these are the goals that we intend to align towards. So one of the asks that I have for the committee is to review the plan. We're still a couple of years before the plan expires, so collectively we're still working with this plan. But as the committee, it would be great if the committee could take on the challenge of bringing this forward to your city council to understand, is this something that your city council would be willing to formally adopt? It would bring us closer to having all of our District 4 cities be on the same page, collectively working towards this plan's goals. The Coalition of Homeless Service Providers does have a leadership council, and I believe that Seaside has always had representation on the Coalition Council. So your leadership should be very familiar with the coalition and should be very familiar with the strategies outlined in the plan. One of the plan goals and strategies was to expand service-oriented responses to unsheltered homelessness, strategy area 3, and within that, 3.3 is to provide safe temporary locations for people to stay. We do measure that through the biannual homeless unsheltered count. Our data for that count recently came out. I'm sure you received that information. And a few years ago, another one of the strategies in the plan, and Seaside really does a great job of this, is bringing along champions and finding champions within our cities who can help raise awareness and create policy solutions and bring forward policy solutions to help us move our strategies forward. So to that goal, I think it was 2022, we were able to have a summit on homelessness where we brought together over 650 Monterey County leaders from all across city councils, school boards, and there were 5 takeaway questions that we asked everyone to go back to your jurisdiction and can you answer these 6 questions or 5 questions. So the first one being, has your city council taken action to adopt the Leave Me Home 5-year plan to end homelessness? If they haven't, please ask them to do so. Does your city ordinance allow for safe parking programs? The city of Seaside does. Thank you for your leadership on that. It's one of the most cost-effective ways that we've found to move people from unsheltered situations into safe housing. Who on your city staff is preparing to apply for upcoming Project Home Key funds? I don't know what the answer to that is in Seaside. We know that the state has had funding available and then not available. Roxanne Wilson with the county has been working in partnership with me. So if you have interest in partnering on that, let me know, let Roxanne know. We'd love to work with you guys on that. How many shelter beds are available in your city? We know that that answer has increased over the last 5 years, in part due to Pasadena Chippewa Shelter, which the city has embraced, and I just want to say thank you. I'll have more information about that in the next slide. And do you know what the shelter emergency overlay map is for your city and where additional shelter locations could be identified? So that's a question that we just kind of are always putting out there, like where else would we identify additional emergency shelter locations? Where else would your city welcome hosting additional shelter locations? Siting shelters is one of the biggest challenges that we continue to face. And in fact, Pasadena Chippewa is located where it's located for the reason that it didn't require city approval. It was on county property and didn't require city approval to be placed there. So where in Seaside would a shelter be welcomed with city approval? That will always be a question I'm asking all of our city jurisdictions. Okay, so we have another Lead Me Home summit coming up. I want to welcome the commission to participate and to invite as many of our city leaders as possible to join us. They'll be on April 17th, 2025. Participation, I believe, is free. Derek, do you know that to be true? I'm saying that.
You do have to register.
Okay, you have to register, but everyone is welcome.
And I've attended in the past.
It's great.
No fee required.
Lots of information, lots of great networking. So please join us. We'd love to have you. I also wanted to just give you some information. The County of Monterey has had, for the last couple of years, a homelessness committee, which is another committee that meets for those in the audience who are interested in the issue. We have that available via Zoom. That committee is being subsided or combined with we call it the 4H Health, Housing, Human Services, and Homelessness Committee. So that will continue to meet with Supervisor Alejo and myself this coming year. We welcome participation. We have a new county homelessness webpage. I wanted to make everyone aware of that. It's where all of our county homelessness strategies and initiatives information is being held. We also wanted to share some information, and one of the challenges that we're moving through is, and it's on the next slide, encampment strategies. With the change in the change in the court's rulings on grants passed, we've definitely found the local response to encampments is requiring more guidance, more policy guidance on a local level. We would love to see, I would love to see the coalition provide some clear guidance that all jurisdictions could align with. We're not seeing that clear guidance come out locally. I'd love to see our County Homelessness Commission come out with that guidance. We haven't yet seen that agreement. We don't yet have agreement on what that guidance might look like. But we do have draft language that I would encourage the city to look at as a guide. I feel very good about the draft language that was presented at our last meeting. It aligns with the US ICH encampment strategies that are clearly outlined, and our compassionate responses to how we can ensure that health and safety standards are maintained, while also helping people move from unsheltered status into sheltered status. So that's on the next slide, is the encampment response, proposed policies and procedures. That is the county will continue to navigate. Let's see here. A couple other, there's a report that was done in 2019, I guess it was 2019, on student homelessness. So this is our encampment response formation and student homelessness. Part of the County Board of Supervisors, I was on the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, where we had about 20% of our students MPUSDY, who are under the McKinney-Vento definitions, and I'm sure you're familiar with the difference between HUD definitions and McKinney-Vento definitions. But McKinney-Vento definition, student homelessness, those numbers have only gone up since COVID. So we know our students in Monterey and Seaside and Marina are many are in very unstable housing situations, which for me is sort of a precursor to families becoming in even more unstable housing or unhoused. And so this report, I think, is an important one that I always like to reference, just because it's one of the few that speaks to some of the precursor reasons why families may be in unstable housing, or maybe in situations that lead to homelessness. I think we're headed into some more of those realities as we move forward. Let's see here. A few other highlights I wanted to let your attention, and while I've got the platform here, we go to the next one after this. I did just want to mention one of the, again, the Casa de Noche Buena shelter that is situated in Seaside is one of, I think, our most significant accomplishments that the county and the city working together have been able to create stable, secure shelter for families. And having that come together here in Seaside has been absolutely incredible. And the way that the community has really embraced and supported that shelter in Seaside has been amazing. That site is a county-owned property that also is home to our social services building. That social services building serves the public assistance needs of the entire larger peninsula, North County down to Big Sur. So we have about 100,000 people who receive public assistance through the services provided at that building. The building is in need of significant repair and or renovation. So the county is looking at a number of options to restore that entire property to a more beautiful, appropriate service center. Some of the options, the main option that we're looking at currently could involve moving Casa de Noche Buena to another location. So that's a conversation that remains in dialogue. We don't currently have funding for that, so it would be about a $120 million project that's currently envisioned. I did just want to keep you posted and let you know that there's discussions that are that do continue, and we would of course keep the city posted as that discussion continues. With the commitment that the county's made to maintain Casa de Noche Buena in Seaside, but the further request may end up being that we do need assistance in identifying the city support for an appropriate location for Casa to be located that the county wouldn't necessarily have control over. So that may be an ask that I come back to this committee with for your support. We can go a couple more slides.
Pass this in, okay?
Yeah, we can go to, I think we can go to the very one, the site for county communication, because I think I'm probably out of time, because I got started talking and keep talking. I could talk all night.
You're okay.
But I did want to, as county communications,
Continue.
you want me to keep going? Okay, so there's a great organization called Local Progress that's doing some great work around local jurisdictions advocating for all sorts of issues, but homelessness and encampment issues is one. So I did just want to call them out for you, localprogress.org. I've worked with them on a number of issues. I wanted to make sure you were aware of them. This is the new committee that homelessness is being added to, so if you're interested in signing up to get updates about our meetings and listening in, we'd love to have you tune in. They are available on Zoom.
Are there vacancies for participation?
So in the county, our committees, we have county commissions, but our county committees only consist of 2 supervisors. So this committee consists of Supervisor Alejo and myself for the 2025 year. So the meeting would just be Alejo and myself, but the Zoom is open to anyone who would like to tune in and listen to the meeting. And on each item, we do open it up for public comment. So, yeah. I mentioned the coalition earlier, so those meetings are also open to the public. stay connected. We've got broadly county communications. We've done taken great effort to expand county communications. We had a lot of communication come out this weekend in regards to the Moss Landing fire, but if you're interested in getting just general updates about things that are happening in the county, I encourage everyone to sign up for county communications. That's our link. And then my office, we do a weekly email, not weekly, we do an email on occasion. It's about monthly-ish. So I wanted to make sure that anyone who was interested, and we do advertise for our commission vacancies. We have, Derek sits on our Behavioral Health Commission, we have Community Action Commission, Parks Commission. Oh my gosh, there's dozens of county commissions. There's something for everyone. So, yeah. And then these are for the district office. It's a full-time job for me, unlike your city electeds that's volunteer. For me, it's full-time job, and I have a staff of 3 who help make sure that I'm fully prepared for all of my meetings and to be responsive to the public. So feel free to reach out to our office at any time. I think that's everything. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer questions or provide more information. Mostly, I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit more about how the county is working on these issues. And invite the city to partner as a SLAM in adopting the 5-year plan. That would be significant, and inviting the city to attend and be an active participant in the summit that's coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I am Lynda with a Y, and only recently figured out it's WHY. I just have a lot of questions. So back to I want this new county building like you can't believe it, how bad. I mean, Seagrove looks so beautiful. We're paving all these roads. It's a 50-year-old building. It's old and tired, and we deserve a better building, and the county can do that, and it'll be better for everybody on the entire peninsula marina. It's not just for Seaside, it's bigger than Seaside, and we want this building in Seaside. The Casa Noche Buena building sits at the back. It looks like it's a portable building. Do we know if that could be moved, if we can find a location to move it to? Is that sort of the vision for keeping Casa Noche Buena in Seaside, or is the vision bigger building, something else?
Yeah, so those are questions beyond my pay grade.
Okay.
We have facilities experts who are better qualified to speak to those answers. And at this point, the cost, the entire project is one where we have, the board has identified it as a capital improvement priority. We've had it identified as a legislative priority. We've had it on our CIP, capital improvement priority project list for a number of years. However, when it finally, I think we caught everyone's attention, there were some questions about the cost and some questions about the scope. So we are going to be receiving a presentation at some point with some more information. And it will still require some support from the full board in order for it to move forward, and it will still require funding commitments. So the services provided in that particular site are not services that have ongoing funding associated with them to fund capital buildings. So it's a unique challenge that we have before us. I appreciate your support and enthusiasm. It is my #1 priority to see this facility through. And I recognize that it may continue to change in terms of how the scope looks and as we continue to negotiate through the process. But I believe that our 60% of our residents in Monterey County receive some form of public assistance, and we have 65 county employees currently working in a facility that really doesn't meet the needs or is appropriate for any county employee to be working in. So my commitment is to ensure that we have appropriate facilities for our county workforce, and that all individuals who receive public assistance can receive that assistance in a facility that is dignified and respectful, as well as that Seaside Library has a long-term permanent home in a location that is appropriately suited for those needs. So I'm fully committed to seeing that through and look forward to finding the answers that are going to best meet the needs of all stakeholders involved. So how's that
Okay,
for a
so we're
political
not
answer?
sure if we're gonna keep that building.
So,
I'm excited about that building, but we also wanna, I remember from the presentation, Casa Noche Buena is unbelievably successful, just out of the ballpark successful in helping people get their lives back together. We don't wanna lose that, but I don't know if we can move that building, if it'd be like a fund, of course it'd be money to move it. You can't move a building for free, you have to have somewhere to put it. Is there other property that the county owns in the city of Seaside? Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
I will say it was also, it's a really old portable,
Yeah, so
so there
why
are
not?
challenges in that space as well.
Yeah,
There may also be a scenario where we're able to have design that accommodates keeping it where it's located. So really at this point, everything's on the table and we're just kind of figuring out where to and how to scope things out.
okay, and I'm grateful for that, and I'd love to keep the cypress tree, because there's a beautiful cypress tree that building's up against, so I'd love to keep that. This list of 5 things, so I'm all good for encouraging the city to adopt this 5-year plan that sounds like it started in 2001. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I feel like, shouldn't we all be working, maybe this is the piece that's missing. Like, I'm assuming we're working with your group. I'm all for advocating for this adoption. I'm not sure how our team, do we need to make a motion that we would, send a letter to the mayor and the city council asking them to adopt? I don't know the process for do we vote on it and then do we vote on what?
At least for today, we're just receiving a presentation. This
Okay.
isn't an action item to be
Right.
voted on. So at a future meeting, right now that this is brought to our awareness, we can put it on as an official agendized item. So that then we can make sure to have the full discussion,
Okay.
invite public comment, and then
And maybe
put out
have somebody from the
brochures
city come
to
and
say
explain.
how we want to proceed and so on and so forth.
Okay. Okay, and then on that same page, who on the city staff is preparing to apply for upcoming project home key funds? Is that something,
So
Derek?
again, I think,
Or
just
that's
as we
just-
want
that's
to
just-
say,
okay.
I guess,
Yeah.
my general response to the 5 questions right now is, these were just brought to our attention,
Right.
therefore they require some research and behind the scene kind of looking into before they can really be answered.
Okay,
So
then
I'd say
I'll
for
ask for
today,
something on a future
yeah,
agenda to
so I'd
look
say
at
for today,
these 5.
let's just,
And as for the Lead Me Home Summit, can 3 of us attend? Can only 1 of us attend? Can we attend but not talk to each other?
so as we run into this quorum kind of tricky situation in the past, my suggestion is maybe having a designated representative go. I can tell you I will be attending the summit as well, just from my programs, activities and how we, engage the, unsheltered unhoused population, just to make sure we're well informed as well as continuing networking and building partnerships in this work. But yes, I would suggest that, as a commission, you decide on who might be a good representative. That way you don't run into any potential quorum issues.
Okay, and would that be an agendized item that we take a vote on who is going to represent us?
Sure,
So
yeah, so
I
we
would
could
be
bring that
asking
as
at the
a,
end to
yeah,
add
so
that. Okay.
as,
I guess those will be the end of my questions, but I do want to thank you for your time, and I really hope that we can interact, feel like we're working with people who, I don't want to reinvent the wheel and I want to do things, so I want to work with some people who are doing things
Yeah.
and follow in those footsteps.
Just a couple comments in response to your questions. If I made the questions that were proposed here, those were questions that were presented at the initial Lead Me Home Summit from 2022. So I don't know currently what type of, it's not even round 1 project, that was from round 1 Project Home Key. Derek, I don't even know if there's Project Home Key funds out.
not
this
that I'm
point-
aware of at the moment.
So that may be a moot issue, but So the question would kind of be morphed into, you know, who's watching to see what type
Right,
of next
and I would
funding.
receive some kind of communication if that was the case, so.
So just to clarify on that point.
Yeah,
And then on the original Leave Me Home Summit on Homelessness, which goes into some detail about the plan, the 5-year plan, that is on Zoom. That's available, anyone can go on Zoom and watch any portion of that. So, you know, everyone can watch that. You don't have to, without violating any kind of Brown Act quorum, you know, issues. So I always, and that was one of the benefits of having it on Zoom that first year, and why we were able to get such great participation. I will also say, you know, I think there's many of our boards and committees where they've been able to, because there's multiple workshops at the summit, where they've even been able to say, okay, we're not going to go to the same workshop. So
get split
we're
up.
here, but we're just going to, like, if I see you there, I'm going the other direction kind of thing. But your legal counsel would be best to advise. I don't want to get
Sure.
between you and Sherry Damon.
No.
So I would never. And then I don't actually sit on the coalition. I'm invested in the coalitions for homeless service providers' success. I don't sit on the leadership council either, but I am deeply invested in the success of this plan and in the work that's happening. But either for your committee or for your council when you bring this forward, Roxanne or someone from the coalition, Katrina, I'm sure would be more than happy to have someone come present the strategies, present the strategy areas, and present some of the goals from the plan. And I will also, I think, just as a note, this is the 5-year plan update. There was a full 10-year plan prior to this 5-year plan update. So there's been a lot of work over the years invested in this effort and this guide. And we are, I think as a result of this, one of the few jurisdictions that did see, until this last count, for 2 counts in a row, we saw a sustained reduction in our total numbers of unhoused individuals. We were one of the few in the state. We did see an uptick this last year. I think there's some reasons for that, but it has been a successful plan. So be a good thing to be part of, or to consider being part of.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well,
Thank you so very much.
Okay, so I would like to open it up for public comment if members of the community wish to speak on this presentation we received. You may do so for up to 3 minutes, and for public record, please state your name.
Wes White, Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union co-president. I'm also on the LEAD committee, which is part of the Continuum of Care Lived Experience Advisory Directive. I enjoyed the presentation very much, thank you. I guess I wanted to throw out there, like, please start getting more involved with the Monterey County Homelessness Commission, as well as the Coalition of Homeless Service Providers board meeting, as well as the Leadership Council board meeting. You know, if you lived in Salinas, I'd throw out there, you know, like the housing and land use, as well as the city council and the board of supervisors, and that goes along with the homelessness committee. You know, the people that are directly impacted, they don't even understand that these committees really exist and how they may actually interact and work cohesively with the jurisdictions. Because, I mean, people are just losing their rights. And it's human rights, human dignity, human life, quality and quantity of life is what's being lost here. Constantly driven out, no possessions, no personal property unless you have some real property that you paid for. And that makes it really difficult to, you know, function in this culture. And it's almost like on purpose, this predatory action by, you know, the haves against the have-nots. So how do we balance that equality, especially through jurisdictions, because the business hasn't complained, you know, the homeowner hasn't complained, and therefore my eyes are burning, oh my God, so they need to go. And it doesn't matter where they go, just as long as they don't be here. And we just will take all your stuff, so then that way we don't see you wherever you go next. And that's been our perpetual attitude, perception, and hopefully we're starting to realize that, you know, the number's only growing, and eventually it's going to be your own friends, your own family, your neighbors, you. You know, and where's our humanity, compassion, and stuff that we learned in preschool and kindergarten and grade school? Those are the things we need to use in life the rest of our lives and not let society beat us out of it. So help me stop the sweeps and give people an address. I'll say 400 square feet in the structure, 20 feet by 20 feet of personal space is not a lot.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to make public comment at this time?
Chair Strickland, I do not see anyone else in chambers or virtual platform wishing to make comment at this time.
Very well. We'll move along down to item 6A, approval of minutes. For the November 18th, 2024 special meeting, recommend is that we approve the minutes as presented in this agenda packet. Have commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Is there any discussion?
No.
A motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the November meeting.
I'll second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Business item 7A. Election of officers. Nominate and vote for chair and vice chair. The recommendation is that commissioners will share their nominations for voting for the next chair and vice chair of the Seaside Homeless Commissioners. So Derek, I believe this is something that we're trying to do every January, right?
Yes, it's part of the kind of annual process, yes. Might I suggest, however, because we do not have all members present currently, and there could be a potential nomination for a member that's not here and also would not be included, you know, their voice and vote would not be included. It's just a suggestion. You could still hold the vote, however, you can't really nominate someone that's not present.
Very well. So I do agree with that logic since we're not all here. So do I have a motion to postpone the election of officers to the next meeting?
I have a motion, I will make a motion to postpone the election of officers until the next meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
7B, discuss and approve City of Seaside Homeless Commission regular meeting schedule. The recommendation is that the commissioners will discuss and approve a new schedule, changing the day of the month they meet for holding regular meetings in 2025 from the fourth Thursday of each month to the first Wednesday of each month. So I have a potential conflict with fourth Thursdays. I might be joining an organization that meets on fourth Thursdays, so I believe I have a conflict, and wasn't there also one with you, Derek?
Yes, as shared, being a member of the county's Behavioral Health Commission, there would be some months throughout the year where potentially this meeting and that meeting would be held on the same day at the same time.
Okay.
And so just to avoid, you know, the conflict between the two, wanting to give my accountability and attention to both, you know, and in discussing with you your schedule conflict. I did research to look at available days within the city. I spoke with city clerk, and the first Wednesday of the month was available. I did at least, just for the public, submit a communication informally to the commissions just to get at least informal response before holding the meeting so that I could at least put the schedule together so then we could have a vote. So what's in front of you, and it's right on the back of the minutes that were just approved, would be the new schedule starting next month in February.
I'm going to make a motion to adopt the first Wednesday of every month for the Seaside Homelessness Commission's 2025 regular meeting schedule.
I'll second that motion. Is this a public comment type of vote?
It can be yes, because it's a business item.
Okay, so members of the public that wish to comment on this agenda item may do so at this time for up to 3 minutes. For public record, please state your name. Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of changing the Homeless Commission's meeting schedule to first Wednesdays, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Business item 7C, review proposals from organizations seeking donation funds from food insecurity programs RFP budget and vote on allocation of up to $15,000 to support efforts to feed low-income and unhoused individuals and families in Seaside. Recommendation is for commissioners to review and vote on all proposals submitted from organizations related to the allocation of food insecurity donation funds totaling $15,000 available to support their efforts to feed low-income and unhoused individuals and families in Seaside experiencing challenges accessing this basic need. So we do have several, I believe, is it 5 applicants, Derek? 4?
We
Okay,
had Alan, oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
So I'm seeing Alan Friends, Pass the Word Ministry, so World Outreach, and what was the other one?
Stepping Stone.
Oh, that's right, Stepping Stone,
What was the second one again, Derek, after Allen Friends?
Pass the Word Ministry.
Pass the word, okay. And our RFP is closed now, correct?
That is correct. It
Okay.
closed on January 15th.
Anyhow.
Yes, okay, so if we do an even split, if we just say, oh, we like all 4 of these groups, that would be $3,750 each.
Yes. So what I did want to look at is, if they say in here in these applications, if there's a number about how often they help out, or a total number of people that they would serve. And if some maybe have a higher number than others, it's just something to consider, but we can go into more depth. So we have, I can read, should I read the letter on screen?
Sure.
So this is from Allen Friends. It's to the City of Seaside Homeless Commission. We want to thank you for this opportunity to apply for a grant to the Food Insecurity Program. We treasure our partnership with the City of Seaside and look forward to many more years of stewardship with you. Again, a giant thanks from all of us at Allen Friends. Sincerely, Rick Richards, President. Next page.
The next page, it gives a little bit more description of services.
Yes. So, description of services. Allen Friends is a nonprofit organization that has been serving the hungry and homeless community for over 15 years. We are 100% community supported and 100% volunteer driven. In addition to providing nutritious meals, we also offer clean folded clothes, shower packs with toiletries, and tokens for showers. We also have a free market table which offers other needed items along with sandwiches donated by Robert Louis Stevenson School, organic fresh fruit, and homemade lentil soup to take for later. Every Sunday morning we have live music that is provided to us by the Monterey Arts Council. We serve rain or shine. Our event information is disseminated through local PSAs, NPR, and other radio, television communications, along with web-based communications, including Instagram and Facebook. These are all effective outlets, although we need to find the majority of newcomers find out about us through word of mouth. Our guests generally come from the communities of Monterey and Seaside. We serve our breakfast at Window in the Bay, which is located directly across from McDonald's on Del Monte Boulevard in Monterey. To date, we have served over 50,000 meals at this location, serving approximately 150 meals per breakfast. Okay, so then I guess it's a few pages down, it's what Pass the Word Ministry.
Correct, it starts on packet page 15.
Should I just read okay, so there's a request.
Sure.
Did Allen Friends request a specific number of funds?
No.
Okay.
I think it was, as far as when I received it, initially an email, it just said, we are happy to accept whatever you're willing to provide.
Okay.
So,
And I see here, Pass the Word, they actually have a request of $7,000. Okay. So that's the request. I think I'm just going to read I'll start with reading a description of services.
okay, yep.
Pass the Word Ministry is a tax-exempt, volunteer-dependent, and driven ministry serving the unhoused, underprivileged, those living at or below poverty level, and those generally in need. We provide free of charge food, clothing, toiletries, Bibles, books, bikes, sleeping bags, tents, etc. Beyond that, we provide a safe environment, practical help, spiritual help and guidance, friendship, hope, and care to each individual we encounter. Friendships truly have been developed between our faithful volunteers and those we serve on a regular basis. Pass the Word Ministry welcomes people of all backgrounds, all ethnicities, all sexual orientations, and all belief or non-belief structures. We serve all who attend every Saturday morning, rain or shine, at Lake El Estero in downtown Monterey. We provide a nutritious hot breakfast and complete sack lunch to all who attend. Those we serve may be local on the Monterey Peninsula and can include Seaside, Salinas, or those just passing through. This is a ministry of radical hospitality and compassion for the last, the lost and the least among us, no matter their situation in life. We have served our community more than 700 Saturdays, served over 52,400 meals, provided over 460 bikes and countless sleeping bags, pet food, hygiene items, clothing, tents, and many other needed items. We have also recently begun helping those we serve with temporary housing vouchers, which are based on the individual circumstance and funds available. So it goes to talk about volunteers in action, total cost of food and support. There's a need for trailer upkeep as well for transport tables, tents, cooking supplies. I think that is pretty extensive right there. So that their ask was $7,000. I believe the next packet page is packet page 23 for World Outreach Services.
I just want to go on the record of saying I wish we had more money, but I'm so grateful we have so much more than last year.
This is from World Outreach Services. Dear members of the City of Seaside Homeless Commission, I hope this message finds you well. My name is Brenda Jenkins, and I'm a coordinating manager for Feeding a Hope program at World Outreach Services Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to addressing critical needs within our community, including food insecurity and homelessness. I am reaching out to share information about our Feeding Hope program, which serves as a vital resource for the unhoused and families in need within Seaside. Through Feeding Hope, World Outreach Services provides healthy, nourishing meals and breakfast kits to individuals who might otherwise go without. As we work to expand the reach and impact of this program, we would like to collaborate with the City of Seaside Homeless Commission to further reduce food insecurity and enhance the support available to our vulnerable neighbors. Specifically, we are seeking $6,120 in funding. We have attached our projected annual budget along with a request for $6,120 to assist with 5 months of serving. Thank you for your time, consideration, and dedication to addressing homelessness and food insecurity in our community. We look forward to the possibility of being awarded as we meet to create a stronger, healthier Seaside. And it says feel free to contact, leaves contact information. Warmest regards, Brenda Jenkins, Feeding Hope Program Coordinator, and Gwen Nash, World Outreach Services Incorporated founder. So right here, so the request here was $6,120.
And that equals 5 months.
For 5 months.
Right, try to compare all this.
Yep. I'm kind of keeping a mental note in my head that Saturdays and Sundays is Alan and Friends and Pass the Word at El Estero. Okay, and then the fourth one is Stepping Stone Outreach. So, dear Mr. Elder, Stepping Stone Outreach is a community ministry of Christian Memorial Tabernacle Church. Stepping Stone has been serving the needs of Seaside community since 1990, so for 35 years. First from the church on Sonoma Avenue, then for 20 years at their church on Fort Ord, and for the past 6 years at 1340 Fremont Boulevard. Stepping Stone is both a food reclamation aggregator and a food service provider for food insecure families and individuals. As a collection partner with the Food Bank of Monterey County, We currently service the food donations of 3 Safeway stores: Delray Oaks, Mid-Valley Carmel, and the Crossroads Carmel. Currently, we collect approximately 10,000 pounds of food a month. The following chart reflects the monthly collection. So this is, that's the collection of foods that they get from the 3 Safeways on the peninsula. Our collection operation runs every day, including weekends, excepting excepting Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. The food is brought to our pantry on Fremont, stored and weighted, requirement of the California SB 1383, where it is available to either transport to our distribution partners or for pickup by our walk-in clients. We offer walk-in service Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., 15 hours per week. We do not capture identity or demographic information from clients, as it could jeopardize our agency relationship with the food bank and possibly discourage undocumented persons from obtaining food. Nevertheless, we have sampled our recipients, and the following chart represents our distribution. So a lot of use of the pantry, and then there's church use, other organization use, but then there's a numbers. This is what I noticed. So the homeless walk-ins, 632. Elderly walk-ins, 988. Other walk-ins, 833. Emmanuel Church has a weekend pantry that we supply. So we got through the first page. They have no paid staff and are 100% volunteer. So here's a list of some costs. Vehicle annual cost. So registration is $450. Insurance is $1,200. Fuel and maintenance is $2,400. Well, that's just the fuel. The maintenance is $450, and then the contingency is $900. Produce, refrigerator, trash collection is $2,094. Trash collection is $1,224. And as for volunteer expenses, transportation reimbursement is $1,500, and the stipend is $2,400.
I came up with a grand total, because I came up with a grand total. We have a lot of details, but we didn't have a total. So at least I didn't see it on the page. Maybe it's on the next page. I came up with $12,618.
Okay.
If we were to cover 100%, and clearly they're like, hey, you guys pick and choose, but this is, forces or wishes, we take $12,618. And if I could do it, I would do it, because I think this is great. I love that World Outreach is involved with this group. I'm wondering if Pass the Word Ministry is, Al and Friends, and so those were the Stepping Stone and World Outreach already have a relationship. And did you say you have a relationship with Pass the Word or Al and Friends? Do you know those groups?
Yes.
Okay. So anyhow, I came up with that number.
Okay. So at this point, I guess we can go into discuss numbers now that we looked at what all the asks are, and we only have $15,000.
First, I'd like to say, I think all these groups are deserving.
Absolutely.
So we have 4 groups to work with. 2 gave us solid numbers. 2 are like, hey, whatever, you can give us, we'll use every penny we get. So I just want to be clear, I think all 4 of these groups deserve as much as we could get them.
Okay. I'm kind of leaning that perhaps we should just split the funds evenly amongst them.
Okay, so if we split the funds evenly, then each group would get $3,750.
Yes.
Here's a couple other options. I'm throwing them out there. I wish I had a whiteboard, but I don't. If we hit the request for Pass the Word Ministry, $7,000, World Outreach 6,120, that would leave us $1,888 to split against the other two groups.
Say that number again?
Okay, so World Pass the Word Ministry asked for 7,000.
Uh-huh,
World Outreach asked for 6,120.
okay,
And if you subtract those two numbers from 15,000, I come up with a remainder of 1,880.
okay.
I might have it wrong, somebody else can double check my math. 7 and 6 is 12, 13, so it sounds right?
Okay,
So, and then we would be looking at splitting 1,800 between Al and Friends and Stepping Stone, which I'm not happy with, but that would be an option.
okay.
I'm just tossing options out there. Another option I wrote down, just making stuff up. What if we pitched 5,000 to Password Ministry, because they asked for 7, but let's say we gave them 5. World Outreach asked for 6 and change. Let's say we gave them 5, that would leave us 5,000 to split between Al and Stepping Stone, which would be 2,500 each. That would just be another way to split it. And this is the last way I did math for. There's a million ways we could split this, but this is the last one I did math for. What if we gave, just so we didn't, if we did a little bit different than splitting, this is just a hair different than splitting evenly 4 ways. Let's say we put 4,000 for Pass the Word, Pass the Word Ministry, 4,000 for World Outreach, because they asked for solid numbers. So you get a little reward for asking for a solid number, but made it up. That would leave us 7,000 left over, and then we'd give 3,500 to Al and Friends and Stepping Stone. And when I did that math, I'm like, well, that's a ridiculous split. But I did do that math. I think I'm with you on let's just do a 4-way even split.
Yeah, and it's not like we're like just kind of like just passing the buck along here and saying, oh, let's just split it 4 ways. Like we're actually discussing it and the merits of, okay, well, does one group, should we give more to one group than the other group? And it's important to kind of, really kind of go through it and look at all the service these organizations have done to the community and ways we can help them out.
Stepping Stone is in Seaside.
Uh-huh.
Breezing through here, I read through several times, they're like actually in Seaside where Al and Friends and Pass the Word, I think they have a space to do their work. I'm sure if we had somewhere in Seaside, they would do it. They're over there in Monterey. And World Outreach is clearly a Seaside. So I don't know if you say we give a little extra to them because they're Seasiders. I think they're all great. I'm happy with the 4-way split. I almost wish we had Mugan's input, Commissioner Mugan's input, just to see if she had a different idea.
Okay.
But we're here tonight, let's split it. I'm going to make a motion to split 4 ways evenly across the 4 organizations that
Okay.
submitted, what's the word I'm looking for? What did they submit?
Proposals.
They submitted proposals.
Very well, and I'll second that motion. And at this time, I would like to open it up for public comment. So members of the public that wish to speak on this agenda item may do so for up to 3 minutes. And for public record, please state your name.
So KR8XV Promax, you now have the floor for public comments. You have 3 minutes.
I would like to vote for the Stepping Stone Outreach Ministries. Those figures that I personally volunteer there, and they extend their services 7 days a week at a personal expense to John Holt there. Those values that he presented to you guys are seriously undervalued. He's a Seaside resident, and he serves not only the citizens of Seaside, but all over the peninsula, from Salinas all the way down to PG. We have homeless people and other folks coming there for food on a daily basis. So if that being the case, lion's share, in my opinion, lion's share of money should go to the Stepping Stone Outreach because they have been doing this for 35 years. I've been here in Monterey County for 8 years now, and he has been doing it prior to me coming here and volunteering there. So that's just my personal opinion.
And I'm sorry, could you share your name, please, one more time, just so we get for the record?
Oh, it's Kamar.
Kumar, okay. Last name, please?
Davis.
Davis. Oh, thank you.
Very well. So all in favor of
I'd like to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a comment. I would like to say that this gentleman on the phone, the person who spoke, I believe had very good points. We are the city of Seaside. This is the city of Seaside's money. I understand all these groups cover all the area, but there is a part of me that says, you know, maybe we should put a little bit more for our Seaside. You know, established in Seaside, actually residing in Seaside organizations, because they reside at Seaside, and we maybe, you know, maybe we should take a moment to consider, do we want to put extra money towards our own organizations that are housed within Seaside, with the understanding all these organizations help everyone.
Okay, so would you like to withdraw your motion?
I'm withdrawing my motion.
Okay, so we're back on to,
Yeah.
we're back on to discussing.
To further discussion amongst
discussion.
the commissioners, and then if you want to make a new motion with new distribution of the funds.
So what about password ministry? She's so, Kyoko is
Aiko.
Ayoko. I apologize, I got her name wrong. I am proud I was close. Ioko? No.
Aiko. A-I-K-O, so Aiko. And I feel bad because I'm sure I'm not saying it very well either.
Is Pass the Word a Seaside?
They are not. They also are similar to Allen Friends, where they operate by the Windows by the Bay area.
Yeah, but their IRS says they're Seaside. They're on Yosemite.
Well, I mean, in terms of physical location, that might be the case. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
saying
what I'm
where
talking
they
about.
operate, though, in terms of their primary activities.
Right. But they are a Seaside organization.
Sure.
And I guess it's, I don't want to get Allen Friends, I don't know where Allen Friends is from, but I like, I'm completely unorganized.
So I can help. So Allen Friends Physical Organizations office is located on Garden Road
That's right.
in Monterey.
That's right.
World Outreach Services is right here in Seaside on Hillby. Stepping Stone is also located in Seaside, and Pastor Words has a physical office located in Seaside. However, their primary services operates in the Window by the Bay area there in Monterey. As you acknowledged, though, all of these organizations, because of the transients, of our unhoused populations moving across all of our cities, and we know there are definitely folks who primarily choose to reside in Seaside, do engage these services, however.
Okay.
We're doing that.
We're doing that right now.
No worries,
Okay.
that's okay.
Was
It's just-
distracted by the chairman.
If
I
you can, try to
apologize.
talk through some of it out loud so the public does have
Right,
access to. what
So
you're saying.
we're trying to work the math where it's relatively even, but our local Seaside organizations get a little bit more because they're actually located within the city of Seaside.
Which is listed in, as part of the criteria, just to note, in the actual RFP itself.
So does that mean Allen Friends is out because they're
No,
not
no, no, no,
located in
we
Seaside?
said to another
Preference.
point that as long as we can justify they service unhoused individuals who frequent Seaside, who have chosen Seaside kind of as their safe haven or sanctuary, do attend those
They have showers,
programs
there's
to
food
go
there.
to shower
Right.
or access certain, yeah.
Okay, math whiz.
Okay. Okay, so I have a proposed new number then. So you said, so the Seaside ones are Pass the Word, World Outreach, and Stepping Stone. So I propose if we weighted more funds, I have $4,250 for those three, and then it would be $2,250 for Allen Friends. So we have three that are more weighted towards the ones in Seaside, and then the fourth one It's about half that amount.
All right, what was your numbers again?
$4,250
For three.
for three of them.
Okay, and Allen Friends,
Is $2,250. So it's about half, or maybe a little bit more than half of what the other three are getting, but it's still impactful.
yes, and then just to throw it out there, what if we did 4,000 each, waited for the Seaside ones? That takes us to 12,000 and 3,000 for Allen Friends.
I'm fine with that too. That's less complicated than the numbers I came up with, so you want to make a motion?
I want to take a moment to just look at these numbers.
Okay.
Can our chairman make a motion, Derek? Derek, what do you prefer? I'm like, I feel like I want to flip a coin. I don't know.
So it is important that like we don't rush through this, and thank you for saying that you want to look at these numbers and think about it. Because all of these organizations are on the front lines changing people's lives for the better. Folks that really need that help, who might not have any access to that.
Now I have another thought.
Okay.
Stepping Stone helps World Outreach and other, no, I'm going to erase my thought. I can't even figure that mouth out. Like, maybe we should fund them more because they're actually, like, they're aggregating this food that goes to others, which, you know, if you can't imagine how much of that food at the grocery store out the door, it's just, I mean, there's enough food to feed everyone if we didn't have to pay for it. I don't know.
Derek, am I allowed to reopen public comment?
Yes.
At this time, I would, before numbers are determined by the commission, I would like to reopen public comment for any members here in the audience or members online to give your input. For public record, please state your name and you'll have up to 3 minutes to do so.
You were probably waiting for me to come up anyway. I'm John Holt, Managing Director of Stepping Stone Outreach. And I think what's important is that we try to understand the differences between the work. Stepping Stone operates 7 days a week. We pick up food and we distribute food. We do throw some of it away because it's not all that good. The other organizations are great. We get a lot of pastry, a lot of Hostess cakes and things that we move on to World Outreach. It saves them money, it makes it available, and they use it. We run 35 to 40 people a week that are walking in. But we do an awful lot through the other ministries, through Emmanuel Church, through Shoreline. And Shoreline has 70 to 80% of the people that pick up there on Tuesdays and Thursdays from Seaside. They've actually gone out and surveyed that and taken a look at it. So we've got expenses. We're 100% volunteer. The church is a small church. It's been in Seaside for a real long time. And I can answer any questions that you might have.
I guess one of my questions would be, why doesn't Allen Friends and Pass the Word Ministry work with your group?
They've not asked.
Okay.
You know, we're not adverse to Allen Friends or Pass the Word. And it's probably difficult right now. I know that Pass the Word has a real dependency on eggs. They go through hundreds of dozens of eggs a week. And eggs have just gotten outrageously expensive, as probably everybody knows.
Right.
And we're just not getting that many. We used to get a lot more.
Okay,
But
thank you.
certainly if there's things that they need and that we can get for them, we'll get it.
Absolutely.
And we are part of the food bank. We've been authorized by the food bank to do this collection and do the distribution directly. We don't have to take it up to the food bank in Salinas. We do have to jump through a couple of little hoops to report it, but it's there. Anything else?
I do have a question. So in the letter that your organization presented, you did mention the food waste, and I think, what was it about the, could you tell me what the California SB 1383 is? What does that pertain to with your organization?
Yeah, that's the food reclamation law and composting. It says that household waste has to be composted and not put into the landfills. And as a subset of that, it said that the supermarkets and restaurants need to donate consumable food, usable food, to an organization that's going to distribute it to needy people, homeless. One of the nice things about that is that enforcement has been passed from the California legislature down to the counties and the municipalities, and they need to figure out a way to do it. At some point, Safeway has done very well, but at some point the other restaurants and stores, the city's going to need to look into doing some enforcement. And at this point, I don't think Mr. Elder wants to go out checking dumpsters to see if they're throwing away usable food. But that's going to have to come. And we're ready. We're ready when we get to that point, and we stay in regular touch with Grocery Outlet and Smart and Final and McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is pretty much across the street from where we are. Telling them that when they're ready, we're ready to pick it up. As long as we have to pick it up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Anything else?
No, thank
Okay.
you.
There's a public comment on.
Yeah, from Kamar again. So, Mr. Davis, you will be allowed to provide your public comment now. So please unmute yourself, and the floor is yours.
Can you guys hear me properly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the nice lady's numbers that she always comes up with. But in my opinion, I feel if you guys have a pen and paper, so the first group, which should be the Stepping Stone Outreach, should get $6,000. The second person, who's also from Seaside, is World Outreach, $3,000. The third person, $3,000, and the fourth person, $3,000. That's equivalent to $15,000. Or as an alternative, Stepping Stone could get $7,500, which is the lion's share, 50% of it, and the other three get $2,505.
Can you read those last numbers again?
So the last numbers would be the first person would be Stepping Stone Outreach would get the lion's share of 50%, which is $7,500, and then the other three would get 16.7%, which would be $2,505. This ministry not just provides food, but also clothing for the homeless. They also assist veterans and spouses of veterans with filling out applications and trying to get into shelters and stuff like that as well. Like I said, they're seriously understating their value and service to the community.
Well, I was kind of smiling when those numbers were read over public comment, because those were the numbers I came up with in my head. It would be 6,000 for Stepping Stone and 3,000 for World Outreach, Pass the Word, and Allen Friends. And I believe the The other option was $7,500 for Stepping Stone, which would leave $2,500 for World Outreach, Pass the Word, and Allen Friends. And let's see, Commissioner Cunningham, do you have any input?
I'm doing some more math.
Okay.
Because I had I'm not sure who had 6,333. That comes up with 15,000. With Stepping Stone getting the larger amount. And then I think we talked about 5,000, 4,000, 4,000, and 2,000 with Al Stepping Stone getting 5. Or we did that one. This is where we need a whiteboard. And then I was trying to, just give me a couple of seconds here to do some more math.
I just wanted to say I do appreciate not only all the applicants that reached out to us, but I appreciate all the work that they do on the front lines engaging with the homeless community. It's very, very much needed work in our society.
Okay, then we could do 6,000 to Stepping Stone, 4 to Pass the Word, 4 to World Outreach, and 1,000 to Al and Friends. We could do, right, because 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 6,441, weighted towards Seaside. And then another one, another way would be 7,000 to Stepping Stone, 3 to Pass the Word, 3 to World Outreach, and 2 to Al. I think that adds up. 7 plus 6 is, no, I got those 7. No, that adds up to 15. 7, 3, 3, 2. I don't know how we're going to decide. This is why we make the big bucks.
I'm doing some math now myself.
Okay.
The math I'm trying to do right now is for Pass the Word and World Outreach with the numbers that they gave. 7,000 for Pass the Word and World Outreach, $6,120. I would at least want to try and meet half of their ask, if not more, for each of those. And there would still be a weighted amount that would be larger than each of those that would go for Stepping Stone. So I'm just trying to figure out, for Pass the Word and World Outreach, about how much of that need that they asked should we go try and give them. Should it be about half? Should it be about 2/3? Should it be something in between there? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I would at least want to meet half of their need. If it was about 2/3, it'd be 4,500 for Pass the Word and 4,000 for World Outreach.
I'm sorry, what was the numbers again?
4,500 for Pass the Word, 4,000 for World Outreach.
Okay.
And if we do 6,500 for Stepping Stone, where does that leave us? Well, that I think that would be all 15,000 then. Right. Can't do that.
Well, why don't, these are the two, I guess, the 7,500 and for Stepping Stone and the 2,500 each for World Outreach, Pass the Word, and Allen Friends. Kind of like that one.
Okay.
That might be the one I'm leaning the strongest towards, but then I feel like, it feels like we're shorting. Anyways, we're grateful that we have as much as we have. The other one would be for Stepping Stone, 7,000, Pass the Word, 3, World Outreach, 3, and Allen Friends, 2. And then the third one would be 6,000 for Stepping Stone, 4,000 for Pass the Word, 4,000 for World Outreach, which gets us almost to half what they asked for, and 1,000 for Allen Friends. So that'd be 6,441, 6,000 for Stepping Stone, 4 for Pass the Word, 4 for World Outreach, and 1,000 for Allen Friends. Does that add up right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, there's 15. Maybe I like the 2 would be 7,500 for Stepping Stone, 2,500 each for the 3. And then and my other top one would be 7,000 for Stepping Stone, 3,000 for Pass the Word, 3,000 for World Outreach, and 2,000 for Allen Friends.
So I like the second and third numbers, Lynda. I'm kind of leaning towards your third set of numbers, though.
So that was the 6,441.
Yes. Because in that instance, we're at least meeting a little bit more than half the need of both Pass the Word and World Outreach.
And Pass the Word, do they do food every day or?
I think it's,
I
think, so Pass the Word and Allen Friends, I believe they do,
Work
one
together.
does Saturdays and one does Sundays.
Okay. World Outreach. Well, I wish we had more money. Okay, Derek, you want to sound here?
So let me just remind the commission that you did already provide some of these organizations some funds during the holiday donations bucket. If that can help you
That does.
with your decision, if you need those
Which-
specifics, let me know.
Which ones did we provide during the holidays?
So Pass the Word Ministry got $1,000. World Outreach Services got $500. And Allen Friends got $500. So out of the 4, those 3 each actually received something. So Stepping Stone hasn't gotten anything from us.
I honestly didn't even know about Stepping Stone, and they've been
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
They've been
right.
here 5 years longer than I've been here, and it's embarrassment. I'm grateful the Homeless Commission now knows about them. So where does that leave us? Does that leave us going back to 7,500, 2,500, 2,500, 2,500, or do you want to?
Pass the Word Ministry got $1,000. And then both Allen Friends and World Outreach each got $500.
Well, here's another set of numbers in case you needed more numbers. Are you ready, Chairman?
Yes.
Allen Friends, 1,000.
Okay.
World Outreach, 3,000. Pass the Word, 3,000. Stepping Stone, 8,000.
That was so close to what I came up with. I came up with 8,000 for Stepping Stone, 2,500 each for Pass the Word and World Outreach. I did have 2,000 actually for Allen Friends though. So
Okay, let's do that.
okay, so I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we for the RFP for food insecurities for Stepping Stone, $8,000. For World Outreach and Pass the Word Ministry, $2,500 each. And for Allen Friends, $2,000. And I believe that does all add up to $15,000, correct?
I'm sorry, one more time. So 8,000 for Stepping Stone,
Yes.
and then Pass the Word Ministry and World Outreach were,
$2,500 each,
and then Allen Friends would be
2,000.
2,000.
I got 15.
That totals 15,000.
Okay, so I make a motion for food insecurities for the amounts to be awarded to, as the following. Allen Friends, $2,000. Pass the Word Ministry, $2,500. World Outreach, $2,500. And Stepping Stone, $8,000.
I second the motion.
Very well, and so we've had public comment twice
Twice.
already, so I'd like to do it, call a vote now. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Alright.
thank you so much for all the public comment and all of you being here and giving us feedback. It really helped with our decision tonight. So, and for all the work that you do on the front lines, helping the homeless, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for the kind things that you've said.
Come and see us.
We will.
Yes, that's the next step.
I think Commissioner Mugan would be proud of us tonight. Okay, so moving on to business item 7D. Discuss development of collaborative partnership with City of Seaside Neighborhood Improvement Commission for consideration of funding support of future Seaside Homeless Commission work plan project. The recommendation is that commissioners will contemplate engaging with the Seaside Neighborhood Improvement Commission in a dual collaborative meeting. Well, not that kind of dual. That's a D-U-E-L. This is D-U-A-L. A dual collaborative meeting to explore building a partnership to work together in future service of the needs of Seaside's most vulnerable communities. Okay, so I guess this is clarification, Derek. So I think in formulating the agenda, I thought there were two separate things here with this agenda item. That one would be coming up with a rough project to propose to them, and I thought that was one separate agenda item, and then another one was having a discussion if we want to have a collaborative meeting of both commissions together.
Yeah, so I think I wanted, from my thinking about this, the initial approach was, when we had this discussion at the last meeting, we had kind of put things on hold because Commissioner Cunningham did attend a meeting of the NIC to propose that we have a joint meeting. And then when we met last as a commission, we decided actually we wanted to postpone and put that on hold and have our own internal discussion, because we realized that our pursuits towards that partnership with the mobile hygiene unit just was not, something that seemingly would be worth our efforts to continue moving forward. So we wanted to first acknowledge, do we still want to continue to try to have some level of a partnership? And then I was going to bring it to the next meeting, because we would have all of us here for the next topic, which then would be what kinds of ideas would we like to possibly then explore with them towards, some form of partnership. So this is just a discussion to decide, are we still interested in some kind of collaborative venture? And then how would we like to move forward with that? And just for the commission's information, per their staff liaison, or at least my supervisor, the next opportunity potentially to have a joint meeting would be March, I have it in my notes, one second, would be potentially March 1st.
Okay. So should we table this agenda item for the next meeting?
Yeah, because I think it still gives us time to discuss it in February before agreeing, yes, would we like to try to have a collaborative meeting in March.
Okay.
And we can get then Vice Chair Mugan's input as well.
Okay.
She did so much work, right? On all the proposals going to their meetings. She presented it 3 times. I mean, she worked with Refresh Start extensively. So I just think it's deserving of her input.
Okay, so I'll move to table it, this agenda item for our next meeting.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda items moved to next meeting.
Thank you.
I literally thought I printed that letter from the NIC for their upcoming thing and proposals they wanted, and I can't find it.
Can we put that letter in our next packet, Derek, for our next meeting?
We're gonna miss their stuff. Well, no, our meeting's right at the beginning of February.
Yeah, exactly. We're meeting the first Wednesday of February, so we're gonna see each other again real soon.
Week after next.
Okay.
Yeah, real soon.
So moving on, we're done with business items, so reports from commissioners. Commissioner Cunningham, do you have anything to report?
I have a couple of things I would like to add to the agenda. I hope probably maybe we can start this February, designating somebody to represent the Seaside Homeless Commission at the Lead the Home Leave Me Home Summit. I'm assuming that's going to be during the workday, which I have to plan time off. If it's the third Wednesday of the month, it could be complicated for me. I work every other Wednesday night, so I might not be able to make that, but let's get started on that. I'd like to add that to the agenda item. I also thought, I remember hearing from our city manager that our council name might be a deterrent to getting people to join our commission. And I noticed the county's website is called Homelessness Strategies and Initiatives. Kind of a lot to say. So I thought, well, maybe we should have an agenda item. We don't have to decide, but if we were to have a different name, what would that be? I had a couple of ideas. I thought Housing Security Commission might be more lucrative, attractive, might be better branding for ours, but that would be something I'd like to see on a future agenda item, is to revisit our name, but I don't know how costly it is to change the name or anything. I don't want to cost the city a lot of money.
I can do some, behind the scenes exploring of how that process works, and I can inform the commission at our next meeting.
I would also like to have an agenda item on the encouraging the city to adopt the Leave Me Home 5-year plan. I have no idea what that was. That just yeah, we're adopting it, but we don't have to do anything? Or do we say, yeah, we're adopting it, and then the city actually has to do things? Which maybe we're already doing, maybe we're not doing, maybe we can't do. I just don't know what it means to adopt that. I think we should be a part of this, but I don't know the ramifications, and I think we're gonna, for these 5 Leave Me Home questions, I'd like to, I don't have a working session or have a discussion on these things. Especially the first one, because I don't want the city of the Seaside to be like, we're the only one with a homeless/housing security commission, but we're not part of Leave Me Home. Maybe, anyways, that would be something I'd like to see on the next or future agenda. And then just one last thing, going back to the public comment that Derek read. That was a letter.
Actually, she read it herself.
Yeah, but I don't think it was,
Beckman.
I don't think it was clear that she heads up an organization called Golden Connections.
Thank you for that.
And that was all missed. She didn't explain. We're this group called Golden Connections. They try to be the matchmaker, the home sharing matchmaker. They're working on getting their 501c. And what I saw this in the paper, so I went to their mingler at Marina. It was the first time they did a mingler at Marina. I think they meet the second Tuesday in Pacific Grove at Meals on Wheels. They talk about what home sharing is, try to answer people's questions. You need 2 halves of this equation. There's plenty of people looking for rooms, but you gotta make it feel safe and find out if people wanna share their homes. And they have a list of reasons why. Do you need some rent money? Do you need help around the house? Do you just you're tired of being alone? So like the icebreaker, they had different color name tags. If you've got a room, it's a red tag. If you need a room, it's a blue tag. They did like a speed dating. And they had several questions to ask, like, do you like loud music? Are you a morning person or a night owl? Like a morning person or a night owl, they probably wouldn't go well.
Right.
You're really quiet and you want to play heavy metal music. Maybe you want to, you have a home, you're a heavy metal person and you want a heavy metal person. Anyhow, I thought it was really cool. I would really like to see City of Seaside embrace Golden Connections. I really would like to see them doing a mingler at least every month at the Oldemeyer Center. Start off with explaining to people what it, I was just actually at the Oldemeyer Center last Thursday, and there was an exercise class with all these older people. I mean, there's older people going to who might have a house, and I think once they get their 501c, they'll be able to do the background checks.
Okay.
So anyhow, our future agenda item would be to ask Golden Connections to come and do a presentation, and then find out from city staff, how do we get this group coming to the City of Seaside and starting having regular minglers to see if we can get some matches made in Seaside.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to support that message, echo a little bit from our program's experience as we do engage with the older adult population in this community. One, it's significant, meaning there are many there's, right? The Older Meyer Center here does an amazing job at providing programming for our older adults. All of those programs are frequently visited, which means there's a lot of opportunities for exposure for Golden Connections to come out. And I can also tell you, in assessing and obtaining information from some of these older adults, there are needs as it relates to their habitability and support with helping them with housework or with yard work. And I know some of our local nonprofits are trying to see if they can get youth involved to supporting some of that. But I have gotten referrals from older adults who now are in need of another residence, right? They need to move, their income has changed, they can no longer afford where they are, they're having challenges where they're living and therefore need to relocate, and yet the affordability for them to try to get their own place, right? To start over with first and last months and 3 months of this and security deposit, all of those things is just not doable. Whereas many of them are just at a right income level to afford a room in a home, right? A home sharing type, option. And so I think this is significant in what it could do to benefit our older adult population. So
If we're having weekly neighbors, I'd be buying food every single week to encourage this activity.
Yeah,
Because
so
I really think it could be a solution.
yeah, so I do echo the message that we should bring them to this community.
So do we start with having them do a presentation to us?
Yes, that would be the best route or steps in the processes. First come here, we can be well informed as to who they are, what they do, and then from there identify as a commission how we want to support their introduction to this community and
Would we invite
future.
Dan from Recreation to come to that presentation?
We could, or whoever
So
would
he
be
can-
the coordinator overseeing the older adults program, one or the other, or both. But yes, we would want them included, as they would need to be a partner in this, right?
Right.
To have golden
So we
connections.
would want them to be at that presentation,
Certainly.
at our meeting, we would definitely.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah,
So for clarification, where are they based out of again?
I think,
As of right,
is it PG?
as of right now, I think it's PG because they primarily you get exposure through the Meals on Wheels out there.
Okay.
But as right, and then they're trying to expand, right? And so as Commissioner Cunningham shared, they are not even established yet as a 501c3 nonprofit, but they are working towards that. I have tried to just do searches to see, are they advertised? They're not even advertised yet or anything. They do have like a business establishment, at least was able to find that on a biz something website.
Oh, like they have a name?
Yeah, they have a name at least there.
Doing
Golden
business
Connections,
as-
Inc., like incorporated, right? But they don't have an official like website or anything yet. And this is their building process, development process, as we want to say right now.
Awesome.
If we can't get them in February, I'd like to get them in March, because the time marches on very quickly.
Sure, it does.
Yeah, so those were my items, thank you.
Thank you so much. I guess for my report, so I ran into Nick and Sarah Tortorelli last week, just randomly in Salinas, and they thanked the commission for the holiday donations, and so I just wanted to convey that to the rest of you. And then I did, and I think in December, like before all the holidays, I ran into the mayor of Monterey, and it was just a quick chit chat sort of thing, and I just asked him if Monterey had a homeless commission, like a boarding commission. I think he said they do not, and I just told him it's probably a good idea for your city or any city to have one. So it wasn't like it wasn't like some big meeting or anything, but it was just hello, happy holidays, and oh, by the way, this. So that's all I got tonight.
All right,
Derek,
short and sweet.
You got some staff reports for us?
Just one,
Lynda.
well, two, but one quick one as it relates to the commission and updates on potential fillings of vacancies, appointments to the commission. So in my outreach to the city clerk's office, I was just informed that there were some interviews conducted today. At the time, there were 3 applicants in the pool. While the interviews were conducted, afterwards, at least I'm made aware, one of the candidates decided to pull themselves out of the potential appointment. But it seems like there are 2 possibilities still on the table. They would need to be, fully confirmed through, our city leadership, and then officially, through our city council before they would be starting as members of the commission. So we potentially could have 2 coming down the road here, right? And so
Probably not February since it's.
so it's February, hopefully, right? Ideally, it would be February, and I think should there be moving forward with approval for these 2, they would be announced potentially at that first February meeting, which then March would probably be their first official.
Because the city council meeting won't be till after our meeting.
Right, exactly. So
Third Thursday.
yeah, because they're the first Thursday, we're the first Wednesday, so we're before. But hey, to jump from 3 to 5 would be very nice, right?
Yes.
Either way, right? And I'd say we just have to continue ourselves when we have opportunities to promote our commission, community events, et cetera, which brings me to just my second announcement. This is just a save the date, so if you just want to jot it down very quickly, our program is putting on its annual community resource fair, which will be an opportunity for the commission to have a resource table, be highlighted and whatnot, and that's going to take place on Saturday, May 17th. The event will be from noon to 3 p.m. and it will be on the Laguna Grande Park lawn.
Then can we make that an agenda item for our future meeting to vote on if we're going to staff the table at the resource fair May 17th?
I believe we can do that, yes.
Okay, thanks.
So for now, those are the updates that I have.
Okay. And
Reports.
Staff reports, okay. And adjournment, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good night, folks.